Welcome back. Yeah, the dancing has begun for some of the teams that have already made their way into the quarterfinals. And both the Japan and the U.S. hoping to join in the fun as well as we are back for second half action. Danielle Slayton, Mark Rogandino back here with you on Fox Sports. 1-0 U.S. compliments of that young lady, Ashley Sanchez, with a goal in the 33rd minute, the difference so far. Savannah Coleman active, not just trying to get in behind the Japan back four, but also her ability as a striker to come back and help out on the defensive end as well. The whistle from Yemi Martinez, our Colombian referee, and half number 2 is underway as the U.S. will now attack from left to right across your screen with the all-white kits and the dark numbers on their back.
And it's important for the United States to really continue to push the pace and attack. You cannot play a prevent defense for 45 minutes.
Yeah, the last few minutes of the opening 45 minutes was the field severely slanted in one direction with almost a half-court-like set for Japan continuing to gather possession at midfield and come forward with another sequence of attack. I'm sure you would agree, Danielle, some possession would be a healthy way for the U.S. to alleviate some of that pressure from Japan. Coleman trying to push and turn the corner, still in possession as she battles there against Nana Ono.
Well, you're exactly right, Mark. I mean, if Japan doesn't have much of the ball, it's a lot harder for them to attack and look for those opportunities on target. So if the United States can knock it a bit and maintain possession, I think that will not only help possibly in the attack, but it also help relieve some of that pressure that they've been under in their back line.
Neither coach making a change to begin the second half. You probably wouldn't expect it till maybe after the hour mark for either B.J. Snow of the U.S. or Naoki Kusunose of Japan.
But certainly some options for B.J. Snow, and I think that's one of the strengths of this team. They have a very well-rounded team, a diverse team, so a lot of options that he can look to on the bench with these 21 players. You can already see pressure higher up the field, and they win it back. Now they've only got 30 yards to attack the goal.
Just out of the reach, Brianna Pinto. As Kojima steps on the possession for Japan. Wide into the feet of Wakisaka. Now Takarada keeps it going forward, but Naomi Girma is there.
We haven't talked a lot about Naomi Girma, but such a solid force on the back line for the United States. First-generation American, first player of Ethiopian descent to represent the United States, so fantastic opportunity. And she's from San Jose, which is my hometown as well.
Part of the Central Valley Crossfire Club up there in San Jose. She's actually been the most consistent player for the U.S. in terms of minutes. She's played more minutes than any other player on this U.S. under-17 team. And here's her center back partner in Karina Rodriguez to loft this one forward. Izzy Rodriguez making her first start of the 2016 FIFA U-17 World Cup here tonight. Spanstra. Coleman. Sanchez. Keep it going all the way across for Kiara Pickett, just out of the reach of her right foot. Pickett, they're showing some hustle as she keeps that ball in play and sends it toward the end line.
And the vision is there by the United States to try to change the point of attack, but they keep playing square balls, which means there's those balls that goes directly across the face of the field. I'd like to see them go at an angle because those are balls that are very easy for Japan to pick off and start a counterattacking opportunity.
And again there, Danielle, I think you saw the lack of width from the U.S. with Kiara Pickett. That would certainly be something that would help the cause for them as well.
Yeah, you just have that much more time and space, and the passing channels are bigger. She just got to make that run wider earlier.
Takahashi helps to swing it across the back. There's Takahashi again. She had the game winner against Paraguay earlier this week. Goes out for a U.S. throw just off the corner of the Japanese bench.
And this is going to be an interesting half for the United States. They really, I think, are going to be tested as the game goes on. I think Japan will likely start to increase that pressure, ratchet up that speed of play. And so their chemistry and their cohesiveness together on both sides of the ball is going to be critical. I think one of the advantages this team has is the fact that before coming to Jordan, they were able to go to Cyprus and really get away together, build some of that chemistry they're looking for.
Try and acclimate to the time zone as well. Pickett sends that one out for a throw. Kitamura escapes the pressure in behind here. Oh, and a huge save from Laurel Ivory. The left hand quickly down on the reaction save. And she needed it to stop Ueki.
Well, this is the combination play that we are used to seeing out of Japan, but what a fantastic shot stop right here. Just a quick reaction. She's only, 2-3 yards away from the ball when the attacker makes contact. Fantastic, huge opportunity right there by Laurel Ivory.
Yeah, a little shot across the bow, I think, for Japan. That's exactly what you said. The combination play is what sprung Ueki in behind the back four. Ivory coming to the rescue with her biggest save of the night. Tackle from Alexis Spanstra to win it back. Kniff trying to get away from the pressure. Japan winning the ball back. Hinata Miyazawa. Plenty of space for Takarada on the far side. Germa and Rodriguez come together, defending in a tandem there, and it works perfectly for the U.S.
Good central defending. Good partnership by those two center backs.
This is what we were alluding to about the closing minutes of the first half, how the U.S. need to get that back line, left side of your screen, to step, to press the action to Japan and just not let them be comfortable in possession in this part of the field. Miyazawa spinning onto her left foot, the through run coming for Kitamura.
It's such a tricky thing to be able to defend because when there's no pressure on the ball, you can't step. You've got to drop because the attacker can play the ball in and really do whatever she wants. But anytime they perhaps put their back to you, anytime you have the chance to take a yard or two to step up and condense the game, the defensive line of the United States absolutely has to do that.
Otokano over to serve in the first corner of the second half. Right to the top of the six. Headed down, cleared off the line, and it's 1-1. Japan have tied it. The U.S. could not clear their lines. Riko Ueki finds the back of the net for the second time in the tournament.
Well, a service in off of the corner kick, and again, so difficult to win that ball when you're standing still and zoning. Kniff on the post. She does exactly what she needs to do. She earns that first deflection away. She clears it off the line, but the United States cannot come up with a second ball. It's not that first service, but it's that second ball that has been so dangerous for Japan, and Ueki comes away with a goal here.
How quickly things can turn. It's just less than 10 minutes into the second half, and Japan have found an equalizer.
And this is the exact start you're looking for if you are Japan. Kosunose has liked the movement, I think, of the ball here. They've put pressure, really gone on the front foot, earned set piece opportunities, and made the most of it.
Similar to what the U.S. did in the first half, where Ashley Sanchez had a good attacking chance. Tanaka makes the save. Less than about a minute later, Ashley Sanchez opens the scoring, and now a moment ago, Ueki had a great chance. Lowell Ivory makes the save. Probably about a minute and a half later, off the first corner of the second half, Japan find their first goal. Kniff trying in some tight space to keep the ball on the string. She cannot. How to find a way to get that ball away and find some help in that position.
And I am eager to see how the United States is going to respond. We know that they can deal with adversity. They're coming off of that loss, their first loss ever this year in that last game against Ghana. But now, can they do it within the course of the game? There's no timeouts. There's nothing that BJ Snow can do aside from provide some guidance from the sideline. What is the player going to do on the field?
Miyazawa cutting back onto her right foot out top here for Nagano. The captain fires it, and Ivory secure with the save. No rebound at all.
And good thing she held on to that ball, because number 17, Oto Kano, was right there. Nice clean hands by the goalkeeper.
You mentioned the loss. We've alluded to it a couple of times here in the broadcast tonight. And BJ Snow even said this is a group that hasn't really ever lost in the 3 years they've been together. But the adversity is something he feels will make them stronger. Coleman, strong to win the ball, but then the shot didn't have enough power behind it to beat Tanaka.
And keep in mind, these players are the best of the best in the United States, as we see Coleman with a good response here. Again, another shot on target. But they probably don't have the same adversity they have to deal with at the high school level and the club level as well. So playing on this international stage against the defending world champions is a really new challenge, but something I think that they can take away as they continue their development, bring it back to their clubs, bring it back to their high schools, and be better for it.
Yeah, I've heard those Friday night high school games get pretty intense, Danielle.
It's been a long time since I've been in high school, so I wouldn't remember.
Me too, me too. 57th minute of play. Japan moments ago finding their first tally of the night, and we're level at 1 apiece here inside of Amman International Stadium. U.S. just trying to control their own destiny with a win here against the defending champions from back in the tournament in 2014 in Costa Rica. Yara Pickett. Central California native, putting it back in play, but look how quickly Japan retrieved possession. Heading centrally for Pinto. Reina Wakisawa. Takarada back inside now for Kano.
You can see Ashley Sanchez, number 10, working back to help try to clog that midfield space, so Japan does not have the time to be able to play from that area of the field.
There's Sanchez, touches it away for Jordan Kniff, and then really a hopeful ball there from Kniff.
Just a little more patience out of Kniff is what we're looking for.
You look to the bench, you wonder if BJ Snow looks for maybe a Taliaferri.
I think that's
Sophia Smith.
Yeah, I think that's a good decision. Sophia Smith, real bright spot against Ghana as a substitute. Taliaferri, somebody who certainly can put the ball in the back of the net, and that's what they need right now. It's not like they're trying to hang on to a lead. They got to go after it.
Japan will have the throw just on the edge of the attacking third. Miyazawa away from pressure in the direction of Kitamura. One more time for Kitamura. Pickett sliding over to slow the Japanese attack coming forward. And corner number 5 on the night upcoming here for Japan. They're second in this second half. As you see, Sarah Kojima. Short corner quickly played. Not sure if the U.S. was indeed ready to defend there. Swung back in onto the near post. Headed away. Nagano can run it down and back out wide here for Otakano. Sanchez coming back to defend, and another corner coming here for the Japanese side.
Good work rate by Ashley Sanchez. She makes his tackle. She has to get that one right. Tackles it out for a corner kick. Big moment of focus right here. That first goal from Japan did come off a corner kick.
Coming just about 5 minutes ago, in fact. Near post, headed away by Jalen Howe. Follow-up chance still alive for Japan. Ashley Sanchez just with a blind clearance out to midfield. The U.S. can organize their shape defensively. Saka looking to spring the big ball back onto this near sideline, intended there for Miyazama. Nagano. Savannah Coleman. 1 versus 4. Still needs to hold it up for the U.S. And you can just see how fast Japan can get numbers back behind the ball and make it difficult for not just Savannah Coleman, but for the U.S. in general.
And Japan's transition to defense there was much better than the United States' transition to attack. Coleman really just didn't have anybody around to support her. She got her head up and she was looking to play it, but no one was around. One thing to keep in mind is the fact that the United States, though they have made some substitutions in this game, really haven't had the variety in their starters that Japan has had. So Japan does have a number of players who've been able to rest, play minimal minutes, and make sure they have fresh legs coming into this game and as they look forward to the quarterfinals. And
obviously, Daniel, they've had that luxury because of the scores of their games. The exception of the 6-1 win against Paraguay for the U.S. The U.S. has been locked up in tighter affairs, especially against Ghana, and now here tonight against Japan. So first substitution of the night. Reina Wakisaka will step off after just over an hour in this Group D finale. Kojima steps on.
Kojima, one of the few players for Japan who has yet to see minutes in this game. So again, another opportunity for Kosunose to be able to rest players and get experience for others.
One of 4 players on the Japanese roster that play for Urawa Red Diamonds, one of the bigger clubs in Japan. There you see B.J. Snow prompting his first change of the night as well. And it's going to be Jordan Kniff. Made her first start of the tournament. In fact, seeing her first minutes of the tournament. And frankly, Taliaferri will come on.
Taliaferri, somebody who's so good at making these late runs out of midfield. Had the early goal against Ghana, so something that B.J. Snow and the United States could use right now, another weapon in attack.
Early goal against Ghana. She also scored in the win against Paraguay. The New Jersey native hoping to make an impact on this one here tonight. Just kept in there by Ueki, the Japanese goal scorer. Has Nojima there to help out. Back up top, patience here from Japan. Kano back inside. Karina Rodriguez will clear, and now Jalen Howe there to clean things up.
And one of the things that makes Japan such a joy to watch for me is that their movement is so good, and then they also have the vision and the patience to not always play that first runner and not always play the obvious choice. It always keeps you on your toes. It always makes it interesting, and it's part of why I enjoy this beautiful game, because it is so creative in that way.
65th minute. The U.S. had a 1-0 lead heading into halftime, only to see Japan equalize just under 10 minutes into the second half. Both teams have now made one change just past the hour mark here. Easily handled by Laurel Ivory.
Great example of one of the strengths of Laurel Ivory is the distribution with her feet. She also got the assist today on that long service to Ashley Sanchez in the first half as well. And certainly a weapon if the United States is going after scoring another goal and under pressure in this game.
Howe sandwiched in between a couple of Japanese players, and it's the captain Fuka Nagano that comes away with it, leading the charge here for Japan. Najima onto the left foot, and Ivory makes the save. Nervous moments there defensively for the U.S.
Great positioning, good movement by Japan. Ueki drawing the defenders and then playing it in here to number 21, Najima, who gets her shot on target. Good discipline, totally set, ready to make a dive if needed, but easy right to her hands. So
as we push later into this second half, obviously the eyes also turn to the Paraguay-Ghana game. In the second half, those two teams are scoreless. While we are 1-1 here, Savannah Coleman pushing forward. By the way, if the results hold as they are right now, Japan and the U.S. both advancing out of Group D. And the quarterfinal game would come up on Thursday. U.S.'s likely opponent would be Korea DPR. Taliaferri with a great opportunity, but just before the offside flag comes up.
Making a difference as she makes her way into this match. Again, a late run out of midfield. See if it's offside here. That looks even to me.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Perhaps it's that slight touch, that deflection, but I like that she's looking to get in behind that back line. It's a real strength of hers and something she needs to continue to look for.
See the AR on the bench side, probably hearing it from the U.S. bench. But Danielle, clearly that's the dynamic the U.S. are hoping for, bringing Tagliaferri on.
And fresh legs, good vision to get in behind that back line, and looks perhaps even that they're shifting and trying to push her up higher onto the field, perhaps that third forward as well.
Japan escaped the initial pressure. Girma back there against Ueki. Najima. Splitting ball all the way here to the wide side. Lofted in onto the back post and headed over the crossbar. Just out of the reach of Naomi Girma. Ueki scored with her head already, nearly has a second there. Let's look at it one more time. Was it that touch there maybe?
Yeah, that touch perhaps, but so close. And as we take a look at Ueki, always just hunting inside that 6-yard box. Not too tall, but finds a way to get her head to it. Couldn't quite hang long enough to be able to get it down underneath the crossbar, though.
And really, Danielle, you can speak to it. That's kind of the difference between good and great strikers, regardless of what level you're talking about, is their ability to find those little pockets, play off the back shoulder of the last defender to make it difficult on those defenders.
Yeah, I mean, you think of some of the great forwards of all time, and they're the ones who can find a way to put the ball in the back of the net, especially with their head and that timing. When you think about Abby Wambach, you think about Cristiano Ronaldo and the fact that he's been so deadly in the box with his head. Real special, great forwards in the box if you have that in your arsenal.
Girma will chase again one more time as Najima pins her ears back, going to the inline in front, and a sitter there for Miyazawa to tuck home, sending it wide.
Well, look, she's in the blind spot of Kiara Pickett. Kiara Pickett cannot see both the ball and the runner at the same time. She darts in front of her right at the last second, and Miyazawa is unfortunate for her. She could not get that one on target, because I think that's a goal if it's on frame.
Absolutely. That's where we talked about mentality earlier in the first half. It also includes communication there. Who's back behind Kiara Pickett, telling her that there's an attacking run coming over her back shoulder. Well, we were right on one of the substitutions with Taliaferri coming in, and here's the second name we mentioned. Sophia Smith will step on.
Sophia Smith, as I mentioned, a real bright spot in the game against Ghana. One of the things I was so impressed with is her ability to play back to goal. And as you've mentioned, that's important in this game because the United States has been under pressure. That high forward has to hold it and then get in support behind from the midfield.
Third straight game that Smith has come on in a substitute role. Taliaferri wins the first ball. Pinto will send it forward. Off to the races here for Ashley Sanchez. And Tanaka out at the edge of her area, and a well-timed as she comes out to slide and make the save. Obviously, with the U.S. going after a winner here, they're probably not really aware of what the score is in the other game between Ghana and Paraguay as you see this chance.
Tanaka does well to come almost all the way to that edge of that 18-yard box. Ashley Sanchez just looking to get a poke right there and see if she can't slip it underneath the on-rushing goalkeeper.
Danielle, how does the formation change now that you've taken out your ball winner in Jalen Howell?
Well, it looks to me that Taliaferri has shifted back into the midfield, playing alongside Brianna Pinto. Sophia Smith up top. And so we'll see. I think what's interesting is what does Taliaferri do in terms of winning the ball for the United States? Yes, they absolutely have to go after this second goal, but if the score remains the same and if it's 0-0 in the Ghana-Paraguay game, the United States does advance.
And we're just receiving word in our ear that, in fact, on the spot, Ghana has just scored to take a 1-0 lead against Paraguay.
So scratch that.
Yep.
They got to get a goal.
You figured that Ghana athletically would have on the field a pretty good advantage against Paraguay, who were clearly the underdog team of the group.
When we said this coming into the game, that the United States can control their future by the result if they can find a way to come away with the win. So same rules still apply in the 72nd minute here.
Pickett with the throw in for Smith. Again, Japan will just push it away.
And you can bet that someone on the sideline on BJ Snow's staff knows exactly what that scoreline is in the simultaneous game here.
What a turn by Smith. Trying to earmark that one for the lower far corner. Tanaka with the save.
Great turn, and this is one of the things that I love about Sophia Smith. She uses the momentum of the defender and just has the ability to roll that player and get him behind.
Up and over the top. Tanaka will stay home, but the flag is up against Ashley Sanchez.
And Ashley Sanchez needs to continue this. Oh, that looks on to me. That looks even to me. And a great finish right on that edge.
I think it was even, Danielle.
Don't agree with the AR in that situation.
Well, if you saw the replay again, the AR actually was a step behind the play. Yes, it happened so quickly out there, but that's maybe the second time that the U.S. have been burned by an offside flag here in the second half. And
the messaging out of FIFA to these assistant referees is, if you're not sure, you got to keep your flag down.
Miyazawa waits for the overlapping run. Ivory will come and secure it for the U.S.
Great decision to come off of her line there. The fact that she's able to win that second ball and it doesn't have to go to the defender, Karina Rodriguez. Opportunity now, long ball. Chance to get into the attack.
Sanchez Cannot get on the end of the flick up and over the top. '74th minute here in the Amman International Stadium in Jordan. Danielle Slayton, Mark Rogandino, and the rest of our Fox Sports crew. U.S. trying to battle for a game winner here against Japan. Ashley Sanchez gave them a 2-0 lead in the 34th minute, excuse me. Only to see Japan battle back through Riko Ueki in the 53rd minute. Nice little through ball, Ivory, and it's 2-1 Japan. Otakano, right on the final quarter of an hour mark. A well-timed run and a good finish.
And she just finds the way to sneak in behind the gap of the defenders. Oto Kano has played a huge role in maintaining possession for Japan throughout the game, and now she finds a way to get on the end of this through ball. It's her movement, it's her composure, it's what Japan does best, and it's a perfect example of it. And it puts Japan up 2-1, a huge hole for the United States to try and dig themselves out of right now.
You said that the number 17, Kano, was going to play a big role for Japan getting back into this game, and indeed she does. Her first goal of the tournament. And oh, how quickly things can change for the U.S. They need to push forward and not only find an equalizer, but obviously with the result with Ghana leading Paraguay 1-0, they need to find a winner as well.
So if I'm BJ Snow, I'm immediately thinking, okay, who's my last sub? Who can I bring into the game? How can I continue to find a way to press the ball more than I've pressed? At this point, you don't care if you lose 4-1 or 5-1. You're just trying to find a way, make one play at a time, get one goal at a time.
On the back of the U.S. net twice here in the second half now.
And you got to give credit to Japan. They've stuck to their game plan. You know what they want to do. They want to possess the ball. They want to move it quickly. But you still can't stop them because they're just so darn good at it.
Spanstra tried to retrieve it there for the U.S. Bending shot.
Previous goal, a little run, slip pass in behind, and this one, a shot from distance by number 8, Miyazawa, just beating Ivory to the near post. Look at that power technique, lands on her shooting foot, and oh, Laurel Ivory, she's so close. She gets a touch to it, but can't quite get the power she needs to deflect it outside the post.
Miyazawa, also her first goal of the 2016 FIFA Under-17 World Cup. And things quickly have gone pear-shaped for the U. It's funny how it rings true what BJ Snow said to us right before his team began Group D play. We're an underdog in this tournament, and you never think of the U.S. as an underdog in women's soccer because of their dominance at the senior level.
Well, that's what's so interesting about this tournament, and perhaps Japan is the exception in that they've been dominant at the under-17 level and had a tremendous amount of success at the senior level as well. But so many countries that we might not expect, like Venezuela, perfect example, one of the best players in the world at the under-17 level, and yet we don't speak of them very often when it comes to the senior women's team.
Izzy Rodriguez comes off here in the 78th minute, and Adrian Richardson step on. Second appearance of the tournament for Richardson. She came on in the final couple of minutes of the 6-1 win against Paraguay to open up Group D play. She'll get a longer run out here, but she's going to have to be a spark, a catalyst for the U.S. to find some goals as they now trail 3-1.
And you never want to say that the game is over until they blow this final whistle. Sure, the United States could potentially find a way to find 3 goals in this final 12 minutes, but it's also about development. And I think an important role that not only a coach like BJ Snow, but also like Jill Ellis for the U.S. team, you have one eye on what you need to do in that tournament to win, but also another eye on development for the future.
In front, Ivory makes the save as she parries that one out. And Japan just finding all sorts of seams in the U.S. defense, all sorts of attacking pockets.
And they just need a little bit of that space. The United States needs to continue to find their legs, stay in this game mentally, and do all the little things. It's about pride, it's about development at this point.
7th corner on the night for Japan, their 4th of the second half. Lofted in. Headed away by Ashley Sanchez. Pinto. Well-timed tackle to win it back. Now here's Richardson. First touch, since stepping on as a substitute a moment ago. You know, Danielle, yes, the U.S. knew their fate, what they needed to accomplish coming in and playing the defending champions in Japan here tonight. But I think when you're going to look back on it as we enter into the final 10 minutes of this final game in the group, you're going to look at what could have been in the game against Ghana.
Yeah, and I think that's...
You would have put yourself in a much easier position coming away with a win in that game.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's going to be the differentiator in Group D.
Miyazawa just scored a moment ago from a similar spot. This time it's Savannah Coleman closing down the space.
And you love to see Ashley Sanchez continuing to put pressure on the ball. Captain of this team, somebody who could potentially get called into the under-20 team as well. I know she's been in to camp with the full team. Talking about the fact that the physicality and speed of play is at a whole nother level when you make the jump up to the senior team. But certainly somebody to keep an eye out on for the future, because she's been a real presence throughout this tournament.
Yeah, the Southern California native has definitely been one of the top-tier players, not just for the U.S., but on the world stage. Mayu Karahashi, who replaced Najima. Najima with 3 goals in the recent 5-0 win against Paraguay. No name on the scoring summary today, but was certainly influential in the second half comeback here for Japan after trailing 1-0 at halftime. Sophie Smith, free kick for the U.S. just inside of the Japan half.
Sophia Smith earning this free kick. A little bit soft there, but an opportunity for the United States. Another long ball service into the box is what they'll look for here.
Sanchez got a touch to it, pleading for a corner, but those will go unanswered.
Disappointing result here for the United States and BJ Snow, and this is the elusive age group for the United States. Can't quite seem to lapse in that game against Ghana. Tough, tall order to try to take down the world champions in Japan in Group D, and it certainly seems like the United States might be playing their last match here.
Japan still looking for more. In onto the back post. Somehow that one goes wide. Otherwise, Ueki has her second of the night.
And Japan continuing to look to just build momentum and make sure that they are firing on all cylinders when they head into the quarterfinals here. Great service from the left flank, and Ueki, somebody to really keep an eye on. You can bet that England, the likely matchup against Japan in the quarterfinals, has got an eye on her.
This one will come all the way back for Tanaka. It's almost mystifying, though, why this has been such a troubling age bracket for the U.S. Because as you get those earlier generations onto the senior national team, again, the U.S. is able to be dominant. One of the premier teams in the world. Yes, they were knocked out a little earlier in the Olympics than most would have liked. But still, when you have the next generation after the 99ers, and then you had Abby Wambach and her generation coming up and their dominance, and now you have Alex Morgan in this next generation, they are dominant on the world stage.
Yeah, and it's a little inexplicable. I don't think we have enough time in the last few minutes of this game to get into it, but it's about development. It's about the way we address youth soccer in this country, and we've got some work to do, certainly.
Marina Rodriguez sends it out on the 5th corner of the second half for Japan. You knew that Japan, and they will be, one of the favorites to be at the podium when this tournament is all said and done. But you thought the U.S. would have an opportunity to be there as well.
And of the games I've seen, Japan is my favorite going into the final stages and the knockout rounds. I've also been impressed with Germany. They had a good game against Canada. I think they would probably feel they were unfortunate to not get that win, but another team to keep an eye on. And you cannot count out Venezuela and Dana Castellanos, the leading goal scorer in this tournament, in the under-17 tournament in history. So another team to keep an eye on too.
Well, maybe is a little sleeper in there. Mexico coming out of the CONCACAF region, just depending on, obviously they're going to match up with Venezuela in the quarterfinal, but who they then meet in the semis. If they were able to get past the top team coming out of CONMEBOL.
Yeah, and Mexico did say that the semifinals at minimum was their goal, having made it to the quarterfinals 2 years ago.
'86th minute. U.S. with 3 in the wall here at the near post, just inside the edge of the 18-yard box. The captain, Fuka Nagano, standing over it to serve it in here. Direct effort, and Ivory watches it zip by the near post. Actually, my mistake, that was actually Karahashi there to deliver the free kick. Ramina Chiba will be the final change. And Takarada steps off here in the 87th minute.
Takarada been a huge presence for Japan. It should be important going forward in the knockout stage.
Chiba scored the last of the 5 goals for Japan in their opening Group D win against Ghana.
I just love Sophia Smith's ability to turn and get faced up. She rolls defenders consistently. She finds a way to get the separation she needs to get a shot off.
Out into some open space. Karahashi lets it go. Ivory comes up with a save, and it has been a busy second half for Laurel Ivory in the U.S. goal.
And you expect this to happen now as the game gets stretched and as the United States tries to go after a goal here. There are going to be moments when Japan's going to have some space to play and the ability to get in like they just did.
And here it comes on the 2 versus 1. Ivory's going to come and clear it from just outside the edge of her area.
Well read, and she's going to need to play a little higher off of that line as the United States takes more risks and sends numbers in attack. But look, if you're BJ Snow at this point, you're obviously going to regroup. You're going to go back. You're going to watch these games. You're going to see where there might have been some holes and some gaps, what you can do to improve, and then quickly look to transition to the future. You've got a couple young players on this team, players like Leah Godfrey, only 14 years old, Kennedy Wesley, who's 15, so perhaps can be involved looking forward towards 2018.
Kate Wiesner, I think, would still be able to be in that age bracket.
Uruguay will be the next site of the 22 in months to come.
Tanaka pulling it from the air here inside of Amman International Stadium. Foot race here. Ueki wins it. Already has 1 on the night. Ivory comes up with the save again to make sure there's not a second.
Laurel Ivory just showing why she's so fantastic. Totally set. You see those little jumps, those little hops, enables her to be able to dive any way she needs.
Across the face of the U.S. goal, and this one will trickle out for a throw for the Stars and Stripes.
Laurel Ivory's coach down in Florida said that he's just been so impressed when she's come back from her national team experiences because her confidence, her leadership, her presence has just continued to improve, and you can demonstrate, or you can see it there in that demonstration.
Yeah, you will have to think she'll be an immediate opportunity at the University of Virginia. Can the U.S. get a second? Smith with the chance. Tanaka not going to allow a second goal, it looks like. Sanchez still battling, taken down inside the area. And it should be a point to the spot.
That's a penalty.
And it will be.
A little bit of a delayed whistle to me. Inside the box, clearly late tackle by number 2, Nana Ono. Ashley Sanchez gets that little touch, and that's what enables her to earn this penalty kick. She's really been the presence on attack for the United States, creating opportunity. And this goal, although it might not count for much, it might just be the little positivity that you need at the end of the game for the United States.
Sanchez scored in the first half to give the U.S. the lead. But Japan has fought back with 3 goals here in the second half. And a goal here would at least leave a possible glimmer of hope. Sanchez again into the back of the net to make it 3-2. Time running out on the U.S. One eye on the game between Ghana and Paraguay, and the other on the match here.
And what I love is you see, is that Brianna Pinto? Yep, Brianna Pinto, so mature, sprinting to get that ball out of the back of the net and try to get this game restarted. She says, until the game is over, until that referee has blown that final whistle, there's still a chance, and we're going to go after it. I love that mentality. It's such a core piece to the United States women's national team at any level.
Third of the tournament for Ashley Sanchez. Obviously, without saying, Danielle, she would give all those back to have her team coming away with a win and moving on into the quarterfinals. Pinto steps in. Spanstra. Of Pickett. Richardson tracking back with the fresh legs to help defend here for the U.S. Kitamura looking for the corner. And that one just goes up and over the crossbar.
Kitamura getting the separation she needs, and this is really where you can see possession and the fact that Japan has had so much of the ball and the United States has really had to chase the ball and the game for so long. You can just see they've got fatigued legs out there.
No tire in the young Nadeshiko is the nickname for this Japanese team. Germer will send it out. In the last few seconds of stoppage time ticking away, Japan appears to be headed for another unbeaten run in the group stage, just as they did 2 years ago in Costa Rica. Deflected away by Rodriguez, still alive though here for Japan. Nagano keeps it alive. Lofted in, and there's Laurel Ivory to pounce on it. One final surge, and not to be for the U.S. under-17s. They had a 1-0 lead at the break. Japan responds with 3 different goal scorers and a 3-2 win against the U.S. under-17s. Japan unbeaten in the group, Danielle, and they are clearly one of the favorites to be raising the trophy once again here in this competition.
It is tough to be back-to-back champions, but Japan certainly looks like they're a team that can do it, and just utter disappointment by the United States players and for the United States. Score that early goal. Sanchez, the 33rd minute. You thought they had some momentum going into it, but Japan, they just wear you down. They're confident in their possession, and they seem to be a team that even when their backs are up against the wall, they can always find a way. I
think we all thought it might have been a little bit of foreshadowing the last time, and in fact, the initial 2008 edition of this tournament, Japan and the U.S. in the same group there. Japan came out as the top team. U.S. came out as the second place team. And that was actually their best ever finish in this tournament. Come back with the complete wrap-up. 3-2 your final as Japan go unbeaten in Group D.